Today on Top Gear Rearview, Jeff has some thoughts on mid-2000s British hairstyles.
It was a bitchin' mullet, to be fair.
And I'm a proper gentleman.
Sorry, I had to burp.
Hello and welcome to Top Gear Rearview. I'm Jeff, that's Brady. Tonight we're looking back at Season 2, Episode 2 of the new Top Gear, which, as we reminded you last week, this series is available streaming on Amazon Prime.
This episode aired on the 18th of May, 2003, and star in the reasonably priced car today was mullet wearer Jamie Oliver.
It was a bitchin' mullet.
It was a gross,
so good,
dirty, awful mullet.
Our segments tonight, we're looking at the new Rolls Royce Phantom, the old, not so new, Rover P5, some hot, I guess they're coupe sedans. One was a coupe, one was a sedan, the M3 versus the S4, and Britain's fastest political party.
Another installment into the Fastest X.
Yep.
That I was really unaware of completely, since most of it was in season 1. But
yeah.
It's just starting to get old on me. But let's talk about the Phantom.
Yes, much better stuff there. So, I vividly remember this from the early 2000s as like the luxury car.
Well, I mean, I don't have much to write down here because it really embodies exactly what it wants to embody. It is a luxury car, not for you normal people. Yeah. You know, I think they said 260,000 pounds it was?
250 is what I wrote down.
250, okay, so it's 250,000 pounds, which makes it ludicrously expensive everywhere.
Yeah, that's like 550 grand here at the time. So that's serious money.
That's 550 in 2003 dollars.
Yeah. No, that's in today's dollars.
Okay.
That's the translated.
That's still obscene, but
it's bonkers money.
It really kind of just played its part. And its part being just the bourgeois sort of... I don't ever drive my own car, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It had some hilarious features. That door closing one, where you just kind of like close it most of the way, and it's like, I got it from here. I like that.
We actually push the button and close it?
Yeah, so that was the other one. That the back doors, which that is not... it's got to be the only car with suicide doors of the time. And there's actually a feature that if those are open, the car will not accelerate above a walking pace.
But it will go at a walking pace.
It will. So you can, keep up if you're like chatting and your chauffeur is getting a little impatient. He'll be like, "Let's go, sir," and just kind of slowly just start moving around at 3 miles an hour.
No. You will no longer be employed if you do that.
The umbrella too. That's one thing I remember, and I remember
that vividly. And he said that they were plugging that everywhere, and I remember that being like this huge thing. Like, oh my god, you pay 500 grand, you get an umbrella. It's like whoop-de-doo.
Oh, to be fair, it was Teflon coated, as was the receptacle in the door, so they would drive faster. He did mention that the Skoda Superb of the time had that as well. And I was like, I don't know what that is. That is apparently one of the iterations of the long wheelbase A4 chassis from Audi. But it's not a bad looking car, but I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. It has an umbrella. Yeah. Let's buy that instead of this Rolls Royce and save ourselves 225,000 pounds.
Yeah. So this had a 6.7 liter V12, the 18 miles per gallon. That was surprising to me.
That was really high.
That's crazy good. So that was a high tech engine.
I wonder if it's got some sort of smart. Hey, look, you just came on Skype. I wonder if it's got some sort of cylinder
deactivation.
Yeah, like the North Star always claimed that.
It may. I mean, that would make sense. And I like the reverse tack that was power in reserve, basically. That's weird. It's just a bunch of ridiculousness.
How many RPMs do you have? About 90% left.
Yeah. 0 to 16 5.7, which I gotta imagine that's a heavy car. I know it's an aluminum body, but still, it's a Haas, and 150 mile an hour top speed, which just kind of makes sense, being as it's German. That motor put out 454 horsepower and 531 foot-pounds of torque.
Oof. That's a girthy amount of torque there.
Now you want to hear it? So this is the Rolls Royce Phantom is kind of a mark that's been around for a while. There was a gap, but this is actually the 7th generation of the Phantom.
Okay.
So it was around way earlier in Rolls Royce, and then they brought it back for this generation.
Yep.
And this car originally was slated to come out with a 9-liter V16 engine.
A 9-liter V16.
I'm so bummed it didn't, because that's such a ludicrous number.
I wonder how far down the development process they got before they were like, no. Being German, I bet it was like, no.
Yeah.
Hey, I designed this car to fit a V16. No, you didn't.
Oh,
No, you
okay.
didn't.
Yeah. No, it's getting a 12. Well, it's not ridiculous. I saw that, and I was laughing. I was like, man, that would have been a truly ludicrous engine in a ludicrous car. Did you know? Take a guess. How many paint color options do you think you can get on this?
Oh man, it's either something really high or really low.
Choose one.
Oh, I seem to remember. I've seen like a documentary. I can't remember if it was Bentley or if it was Rolls. I think it was Bentley. So I'm gonna go with a very low number of paint options. I'm gonna go with like 3.
44,000.
Okay, so it was the very high.
It was very, very high.
So literally any color.
Exactly. It was like, go pick up a RAL book and you're good. But it was funny reading about this today. I was like, there's basically, it has a lot of cool options, like your crazy doors, the umbrella and all that. But then it has like, they basically coach build a lot of these, and they're like, if you think of it and it's not completely ridiculous, we'll put it in there for you.
Yeah, just all you gotta do is pay for it. That's all we ask.
Put more money on the table and we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the real coach building heritage that the Rolls Royce comes with is, I mean, it's going to have some wheels and an engine, but pretty much everything else is up to us and you.
Yeah, you do what you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that he took it on the Humber Bridge. I had no idea what that was. It was, not even at the time, the longest suspension bridge. I think by then it had been eclipsed a few times, but now it's the 8th longest.
8th longest, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he either said 17 or 70, didn't quite pick it up, but he said it was the longest suspension bridge for 70 years.
I think it was 17 because it was built in like the I want to say the late 80s or so, maybe early 80s, and it ran until the late 90s as the longest.
Okay. Yeah, they always, I think later on the episode or elsewhere in broader culture, they always look down upon the Golden Gate Bridge because it's not even that big.
Yeah.
We've got a bigger one. It's like, okay, dude. All right.
Cool story, guys.
Yeah. Zip up your fly and we'll go about our business.
I was kind of bummed they didn't do a power lap. I was like, come on.
I feel like you throw the Bentley Arnage T around. You might as well throw the Rolls Royce around.
The Arnage was like, I mean, I felt like that was like dumb old money, and at least this was smart old money. Like it was a newer car, so
they definitely bashed on the Maybach.
Yeah, they did.
This. They were really high on the Maybach last episode or last series
until they got to the awards, and it was in the running for like the dumbest car or whatever.
I don't know why they were so positive about it in their review. It was
because James had to deal with because Jeremy had to deal with the Mercedes customer service.
Oh, that's
so
right.
They flipped the script, and he was like, "Nope, no more love for these guys."
That was Series 1, Episode 5. You guys want to go check that out? We talk about it there. But I can't imagine that this thing is any smaller or is any less gaudy than the Maybach.
Oh, no.
So I don't know. I think most of the same criticisms are allowed on both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I as I said, I really don't have much to talk about here. I didn't have much, on my notes here because there's really nothing out of the ordinary about it, anything that jumped out at you. It's like, yes, this is probably one of the most expensive cars in the world right now. It's probably one of the most luxurious cars in the world right now. And It has a bunch of expensive luxury features. Who would have guessed? I liked the super duper unbelievably thick carpet under his feet.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
I just look at that and go,
shag.
Oh my god, that's just gonna be awful. And I have something to talk about that later on when we talk about the P5. But Jeremy says,
ever since it began, Rolls-Royce has been saying that it makes the best car in the world. Now, for 80 years, that hasn't really been the case. It is now, though.
And my question to you, Jeff, is in 2003, is the Rolls Royce Phantom the best car in the world?
It's so hard to define best, but I mean, in terms of the ultimate car for being in, I mean, in terms of comfort and everything, not for necessarily driving. It sounds like it was probably okay to drive, but it's not bad. It's I mean, that really did bring back the mark. You had a bunch of weird things before, like the silver Seraph and all these ones that I'm like, I don't even remember that. And then this one came out and I remember the Phantom.
Yeah.
So So it made a mark, regardless of whether or not you think it's the best car in the world.
I think it's really easy to say no, it's not the best car in the world. But once you start to quantify everything against each other, like you said, it's almost impossible to put that put one at the very tippy top.
Yep.
Except of course the Toyota Land Cruiser. So it slides right into the cool wall, which is how it usually does on this show so far. Is they'll move right from one thing and then they'll talk about it and they'll put it on the cool wall. So a quick stop there. Jeff, both you and I have a beard.
Yes.
And I don't think it determines our opinion or our validity of our opinion on cars at all. But on Top Gear, apparently it does.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was so much hate over there.
It's like, yeah, but you have a beard. And that was his retort. So,
yeah.
But the Ferrari Enzo, Jeff, is this a cool car or not a cool car?
Yeah, it's cool. It's not Sub-Zero. It's cool.
You think it's cool?
Oh, yeah. No?
That's not so much for me.
I
I think it's a very nice car. And
it's the F60. I mean, it's just got lineage, and
yeah,
on both sides are a better car, but I don't think it's a bad car.
I really need to find out who Kristen Scott Thomas is. Like, they talk about her all the time.
Yeah, I got nothing. I recall that as well.
That's Jeremy's usual test, is if you drive up to it to pick up Kristen Scott Thomas, and she's the one who gets to deem if your car is cool or not. If you pull up in the Ferrari Enzo, she's going to say, no, can we take my boyfriend's Rover or whatever instead?
She's a Dame Kristen and Scott Thomas. Yeah, she's an Academy Award winner.
Best actress. Right. No, nomination.
Okay, nomination, fair enough.
Which is not very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else about the cool wall there, buddy?
They did mention with the Enzo that the drummer of Pink Floyd was getting one, and I was like, ooh, there's a nice little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, I'm glad that you know that this early in the season, because that's the only way you're going to be able to drive one later on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm glad you know that. Yeah, that's your in.
I do want to comment quite quickly that Jeremy asks James what he thinks of when he looks at the Rolls Royce Phantom, and James says Jimmy Savile. I was like, ooh, that one doesn't sit very well. I'm not, no, let's move on from that. Let's move on.
All right. On to the news.
Yeah, I guess I don't have much on this one as well, except for the fact that they talk about the boat that can be a bus. You can drive in and out. That boat picture that they showed looked like it was a Top Gear challenge.
It really did. It was like, you guys made that. That's not a person.
Was that made in the secret Top Gear garage just off the A5?
It's the predecessor to the hover van.
Oh my God. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't get in that.
Yeah, no. That looked like it was. I'm surprised it hasn't sunk yet. They did also talk about motor flirting, which was the thing where you put your sticker on your car and then you can call up and get their number and text them. And I was like, that's like advocating texting and driving. Like, this will take a good flip flop in the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's also interesting that app idea made it through the .com crash of early 2000s. It's like, that's the one that survived the ashes? I don't know about that one. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. But no, that was about it. Nothing memorable.
No, not really. I guess we'll move on then.
All right, Rover P5 time.
Okay, Rover P5. I always find it interesting when they do these look back at old cars. They did it with the, I guess it was an old Escort Cosworth back in season 1. Now they're doing it with this Rover P5. I guess comparing it, there's a luxury kind of car feel to the episode.
Yes, that was the theme of the episode.
And this seems like the poor man's roller, they called it.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, this is not one I'm particularly aware of.
No.
It's just okay. I guess they had a P5B. That was not because there was Mark 1, 2, and 3, and that all had the little engine as you talked about. But yeah, it's just like, okay, this is, I don't know. He said it was something about the Queens, and like I took it as like he was actually driving the Queens Rover. I was like, that can't be right.
I think it was. Did you see they showed the crest?
I did not.
Yeah, the Elizabeth
crest.
I think it was
that's
actually
why they're driving it.
I think it was actually the Queens.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, you want to drive my P5?" And, okay, yeah, we will.
Sure. Okay, that sounds good.
Due to the unique way of the BBC. A couple of notes on the engines for that one. It was a 3-liter inline six, 0 to 60 in 17 seconds. Got a guess on that top speed on that 3-liter?
Well, he said it would do 100, but it would do it. It would do it screaming or something like that. So
I think he was lying because I read 95.
Okay, so it won't do 100.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's over the years range from 115 to 134 horsepower. So basically the same as my 1.8 liter Miata engine. So
Yeah, and what
Yeah.
presumably looks like for the time a larger luxury vehicle.
yeah, I didn't see any kind of weights. I got to imagine it was not exactly light, but
Well, Jeff, it's because it was full of the holy trinity of luxury: leather, wood, shag pile. Like,
yeah,
is shag carpet in the holy trinity of luxury?
it is. So you could just get disgusting carpets the first year.
It's just, it's not like it rains at all in the United Kingdom where you'd have
No.
muddy boots or anything like that.
No, and nobody has kids over there. They're gonna barf in that or throw Cheerios in it.
Don't boff in the P5.
Kids aren't allowed in the P5.
No, that's right. I noted that this was a monocoque design.
Mm-hmm. First
So
monocoque for Rover.
Yep. So once again, them talking back in season 1, we're talking about where they are waxing eloquent about the Jags monocoque design and how it's new and fandangled.
Yeah.
1958, brother.
I was gonna say this one, it was released way long ago.
Yeah.
It's a young lobster. It is, I guess, old. That 3.5 liter, the one that he had, that's actually a Buick engine.
A Buick engine. Was Rover owned by GM, or they just buy
Rover
it?
they just bought it. They didn't have enough money to make their own, so they're like, what can we buy? Buick, done.
Let's buy a Chevrolet engine. Oh no, that's too expensive. All right, how about Buick? Okay, it's the same thing. I don't understand.
Better. We don't get the bow tie.
No.
158 horsepower on that guy, so probably 0 to 60 in like 14 seconds.
Yeah. And it is also as English as an oven glove with cats on it.
Looking at that car, I do not disagree. That is like that came from the UK, 100%.
Yeah, you got British styling.
It really I found a really hard time trying to see. I couldn't get a scale of the thing because to me it looks small, but it can't be.
I mean, I guess back in the 50s, 60s, a lot of British cars were very small.
Yeah,
like the Mini and all those sorts of kind of that era of car. They didn't have 50s and 60s American cars were just ballooning.
Yeah, they were like tugboats.
Yeah, and so I wonder if this would fall in the Toyota Corolla type of size.
Probably in that range. Every picture I find is just a P5 next to 30 other P5s. I'm like, this is not helping.
This is awful. This is giving me no sense of scale. Yeah. I also liked how there's the 4-door sedan or the saloon and then the 4-door coupe.
Mm-hmm.
It's the coupe, even though it's got 4 doors.
Yeah, the coupe just had less headroom in the back.
Just shorter.
Yeah. Differences in the roofline, the windows, and the B and C pillars. Subtle, I will say.
Yes, very.
Just a little more swoopy.
I mean, it's not a bad looking car. I mean, it
No.
looks like a luxury car. It probably
looks British as hell, and it looks luxurious. I agree. Yeah.
Hey, it looks like it's got all the trimmings and trappings and stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day, those cars had a lot less safety features, so the doors were super thin, so it probably had quite a bit of room on the inside, even though it was a smaller body. Here we go. Here's a picture of it next to a new Rover, which I have no idea what the size of that car is.
Not helpful, Brady.
All right. Well, there's not much to say about the Rover P5. I bet it'd probably
Again, I wish they should have taken the Queen's Rover on a lap of the track.
Yeah,
man.
I bet that was quite unallowed. Quite unallowed.
Opportunity lost.
Absolutely.
So onto that mullet, I suppose.
Oh my God, the mullet! It was
yeah.
so good. This is
Man.
Jamie Oliver, who's known around the world. I won't even jokingly ask you if you've heard of Jamie Oliver.
I know Jamie Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is early on. He looks like a young buck. on the
does.
show.
He looks like early 20s almost. I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure.
I mean, he looks like a little bit like late teens. I mean, he's obviously not. How old is Jamie?
Well, okay. What was this? This was 2003. So this would have been 14 years ago. So he would have been 28.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So still, man, if I wore that haircut at 28, holy God.
You've been fine in the UK, I suppose.
I guess so.
Or if you're super famous and no one else.
Yeah.
No
28th worst person in Britain. I like that stat.
Why is he the worst person in Britain? Everyone loves
I don't
Jamie
know.
Oliver.
I know. I've like never heard a bad thing about him. You got like Gordon Ramsay. Like he should be like number 3. But Jamie Oliver is just like he seems like a nice dude.
Genuinely nice guy. They talked a little bit about his motoring history, or I guess the car that he owns now. They didn't say what it was, but he owns a Maserati.
Okay.
And we're gonna play a little game, Jeff, called "One of These Things Is Not Like the Other," or also known as we'll go with three truths and a lie.
Okay.
So he says that his Rover or his Maserati looks great, is a great value, goes fast, and sounds great. Which one of those is the lie?
It is not a great value.
Maseratis are well known to be the worst value in the auto world ever. You buy a Maserati for Ferrari money, you drive it off, it becomes Toyota money.
Exactly.
Like, you depreciate so fast. But Maseratis generally look pretty good, go pretty fast. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. And sound good. The Maseratis have always sounded great.
They do, yeah. And I saw a Gran Turismo last week, and it's just a good looking car. I don't really want to own one, but I like looking at them.
Yeah, it's just don't really go down. I've seen, oddly enough, here in Fort Collins, Colorado, the other day I saw 2 Maseratis in the same day, different Maseratis. But
I know I saw a Quattroporte around there a few times, and I think I saw a Coupe, which was but it's a car that seems like it doesn't have a niche. Like it kind of just is like a car without a country. There's no I can't think of where it fits right.
I mean, they try to play themselves up as a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm. Which is not. It's not a Ferrari, but it's also not a Jaguar. It's like somewhere between them.
Yeah, it's not. Was it in the same class as like an Aston Martin, or do you think they're lower than an Aston Martin?
I guess Aston Martin's probably the best comparison, but
grand touring type cars.
Yeah, not necessarily anything like any rocket ships in there, but also like no cheap car either. So yeah, that's probably fair.
All right, that's like an Aston.
We'll call it that. Yeah. I liked, and I Googled, and I couldn't find it. They were talking about the scooter crash on Oprah.
I did not find it at all either. I didn't look too hard.
I looked hard, and I could not find a video. Apparently, that has been suppressed by I don't know, RAF or something. MI6 is probably the proper suppressors, but yeah, that was a bummer. But it sounded like a fun crash. And then his the funny segment that they did as part of this was he's got a VW van. Which I'm a big fan of the nice old like the minibuses or whatever they're called. They're not the Vanagon. It's before the Vanagon. With the beautifully restored. It looked like I don't know if it was a 22 window, but it was a nicer one with a Porsche 3.6 liter in it.
I know that's a bitchin' van for sure.
That's all. Yeah,
it looked like it was in really good condition too, exterior and interior, like all redone, but with a Porsche engine in the back. I bet that thing was so much fun.
So much fun. I bet that'd be a blast.
All sorts of tippy over.
Yeah. Yeah. So they did a lap with a stick driving and him trying to make a salad in the back, which I was like, that's a bold move, especially when he pulled out like the olive oil. I was like, dude, that's gonna stain.
I know. Like,
this is your car.
This is your car. I wouldn't do this.
No. But
like lettuce and like what he said, figs,
some fig tips and some other
mozzarella. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a recipe for disaster in a stinky car.
It turned out to be pretty bad.
Yep, surprisingly enough.
Oddly enough, you're not strapped in while the Stig's driving you around the track. You're gonna fly all over the place.
Especially when you're sitting below the window line and you can't see which direction you're gonna turn.
So are all your fig tips.
Yeah.
Well, there's a friendly competition between Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay, and so Jamie really wanted to beat his time. Had his window down in the reasonably priced car and still got a 150, so he missed out on an opportunity there, but that's a good lap. 150 is a good lap.
It really is. They totally did it again with the gap too. I looked at it and I was like, he got a 150, and sure enough
Yeah, was the gap there on the board?
Yeah, it was a little more subtle. They're getting better, but still, it was like, there it is right there. I can see that little break.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's how many times they actually had to film that particular segment.
It could be. Yeah, they took it off. And put
They
it
just
on
take it off
yeah.
and don't move them back.
Yeah.
So.
So he will be back. He's one of the recurring guests, which is nice about a lot of these newer guys or the first early on guys. So he'll be back in season 9.
Good.
Hopefully with a even more bitchin' haircut.
Oh my god, I can't wait. All right, so instead of used car corner with Jason Daw from last series, we're starting to get this insider dealing.
Well, I thought it was insider trading too. It had a couple names in the first series.
All right.
Yeah,
So
but
it was all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
in the first
they
series,
they brought it back, which disappoints me. I wrote "Let It Go."
I know. I think they're still trying due to the unique way that the BBC is funded. I think they have to do something. They think they have to do something like this.
Yeah, or
Instead
they're not
of being-
popular enough to argue their way out of it.
They're not popular enough to be purely entertainment. But one of the vehicles that James talks about is the Alfa Romeo GTV or Spider, which is just the GTV with a convertible. I guess around that time period, because they've been using those names for a long time in Alfa Romeo. And he comments that Alfa Romeo has the best headlights in the industry. And
so does he say best looking or does he say best? Maybe they're just really good headlights. Maybe they focus really well.
it's just so
because they
bright.
look like shit.
They're awful. They are easily the worst headlights in any car. Well, this is what I thought. So I asked Jeff, and I came up with my list. And I think my list is a little longer than yours, but that's fine. But I asked Jeff to come up with a list of maybe the best headlights of any car or the worst headlights of any car. Did you come up with best and worst, or just one, or just best?
I got both, and I got a couple for worst, but I had trouble with this one. Like I couldn't do it too well.
I have to say I whipped my list out real quick. Apparently, I pay attention to the headlights a lot. So
I guess so.
All right. So Alfa Romeo GTV, James likes them. They are easily at the top of my list of worst headlights of any car ever.
They're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. What are your worst headlights, Jeff?
So there's a category that's like, it seems fairly recent, but where they kind of they're almost like, it's like they have fake headlights below the real headlights, and you can see this on a Nissan Juke and on the newer Jeep Cherokees. So they have like, it's hard to explain, but basically they have something that looks like a headlight that's low on the bumper, and that's actually like a fog or a driving light, and then above it is the headlight, and I don't like it.
Well, the Nissan Juke is on mine. On my
list.
Is it?
Those are pretty bad.
Because they're way up there, and they're all sorts of bulbous and sticking out to the side.
Yeah, and it's very froggy.
Yeah, I'm not. So the Nissan Juke is on my list of worst. So I agree with that one for sure.
So the thing is, those top ones, those are not the headlights. Those are the marker lights. Okay,
I know.
So actually, I think I explained it backwards. So yeah, the circle lights below it are the headlights.
Yeah,
so, and the Cherokee does the same thing.
I think in general, all of the light situation is bad.
It's just not good.
It's just bad
not
lights.
Good.
You've done bad.
And the other one I had was the Morgan, like the Aero 8 with just the super cross-eyed.
I completely forgot. Why don't they put them facing forward? I don't understand.
So bad. It's just coming at you like, oh.
They're so cross-eyed. Like, I don't know why someone
so cross-eyed.
Why don't someone just go, hey, on this next one, just move them out a bit.
Yeah.
Someone
look fender different. Use a different piece of wood.
Someone looks at them and goes, no, we're going to keep them like this.
They're just like Steve Buscemi eyes on a car. You go, ah.
Oh, I want to see a Photoshop of that. I did not have the Morgan cross-eyed on my list. Great addition to the list, though, Jeff. That's a good one. So
what do you got then?
So mine's the Alpha, is at the very tip top. The Nissan Juke, as we talked about, and then the Fiat Multipla. Now, this is a car that I've been thinking of every time I've said that the Top Gear guys modify the. They were modifying a Renault
Aventine, right?
Aventine, yes.
Yeah.
No, they were actually changing up and souping up a Fiat Multipla.
It was a Multipla?
I believe it was a Multipla.
We'll have to see. It's coming up, but I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
So there's a set of headlights, and then there's a set of headlights below it, and then there's like the indicators that are kind of wobbly off to the side, and then there's a whole other set of lights like in the dash.
Yeah,
the
the windshield frame.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Like what? Like the whole design of the car is awful. But
Well,
the
it looks like
headlights
they
are
just took like half a car and they just cut two halves together and just like mush. So
the top half looks like a modification of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It's so bulbous. Okay, that one's on my list as well.
One.
And then I had to throw this in here. This one will shake some feathers. The DB7. Aston Martin DB7. I think the reason I said why I didn't like it the way it looks very much back when Jeremy said it was the best looking car ever, and I'm like, no, the headlights look bad, and it's because they do.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. And flash forward, that's coming up on episode 5.
Ooh. All right. Do you have a list? Any on the list for best headlights, Jeff?
I really only have one, and it's kind of hard to explain. I've seen it a few times, and I think it's advertising, really. But the last generation of the Viper, I always love those headlights.
So, I mean, that's what they used for their advertising was the headlight like curve. Or whatever, right?
And it was like a dark room with just like the headlights, and it was I like that.
What did we say? 2010. We'll get a picture. Up there.
13 through 17.
13 through 17. All right.
Yeah, I think it's they call it the Phase VX, but I think it's it's like the 4th gen, maybe the 5th gen.
Okay. So yes, this definitely falls in line with one of my favorites. It's got I guess it's kind of the LED dots going up the bottom and then the outside in the curvy swoop.
Yeah.
All right. So I have on my list best headlights is the Audi R8. When they first came out, I think the Audis were the first ones to do the dotted LEDs, and I think the R8 was the first one that had it. And it was like this whole new thing. Headlight. And I think it was a very good looking, and it's kind of like it's like straight and then has like a little swoop at the end. I think it's a great looking headlight.
I'll give you that. That is a nice one for sure.
I was talking with my wife about this, because we talked about the worst cars last episode, the top 5 worst cars. And she's like, I don't really care about the headlights. That's not something I think about. And I'm like, all right, well then how about, do you like the R8 headlights? And she's like, I don't know what those are. I'm like, all right, how about, do you like the, this, that, and the other? And she's like, I don't. So I guess some people don't really look at it, but she didn't know the Audi R8 headlights. She knew the Audi R8. I showed her and she's like, oh yeah, I know that car. And I'm like, you like the headlights? And she's like, I don't care. So next on my list is the Ferrari 458. Fantastic looking headlights. Really vertical.
Yeah.
They go right up the body line on the hood fender area. Really like those. They also have the LED dots. And then I'm cheating with my last one, 1968 to 1970 Dodge Charger, because the thing I like about them is that you can't see them.
Yeah, those are the ones behind the grill, right?
Oh my god, that's so badass.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's nothing that looks better than that blackout kind of grill that just goes all the way across. And
yeah.
Yeah. I showed my wife that and she's like, where are the headlights? And I'm like, exactly. And she's like, I don't get it.
I don't understand your reference. Walk away. No, I will totally agree with you there. Do you watch Roadkill at all on YouTube?
No.
Okay, that's a fun one. I'll put a link up in the show notes. It's a Motor Trend show, and they generally just kind of just hoon around with cars and stuff. And they had one that was it was a junkyard. Was it a Charger or a Challenger? I want to say it was a Charger, and they just kind of made that grill in front of the headlights, and yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah.
I got one more to add to the ugly headlights because I forgot about it.
Okay.
The Porsche 928 with the pop-up headlights, they look totally fine down, and then you pop them up, and it's like, whoa, what'd you do?
All right, let's see.
They got some googly eyes.
Oh, I think those look way worse down than they do up.
Really? Oh,
I
think
God.
they look just like slapped on when they're up.
They kind of look like a rally car, like extra lights.
They do, yeah. They look like there should be 5 of them across or something.
But I mean, when they're down, they're like pointing up. They're like,
oh yeah, they don't look functional, but at least they look like integrated. The car's yawning.
Everything about the 928, I hate it. I hate it.
I know. I had to bring it back.
I hate the front section. I hate the back section, and I hate most of the middle section. All right. Well, that's good. If you guys have anything to add to the list, please just shoot us a note over on the Facebook. I'd like to see what we missed.
Post a picture. Yeah, let's do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so what appears to be the hot lap of this one is our little comparison between the newish generations of the M3 and the S4.
Yes. So, I think this is where we get our quote unquote golden car for our Top Gear power rankings.
This would be, this is the E46.
This is the E46 M3. And when I was going through this, I didn't remember that in that exact same episode where they set the M3 lap, there was actually a faster car that's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we chose the wrong car, but we're
No,
too far.
we didn't. No, this is still the better of the two cars, and I will tell you why in a minute.
Okay, well, I think we're kind of made so far as well, so we gotta stick with it. But yes, this is the S4 versus M3. I said cheaper. It's 3,000 pounds cheaper for the S4, 36,000 pounds to 39,000 pounds. 36 is not bad for something as souped up like 40,000 pounds for an M3. That's reasonable. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
Jeremy was not a fan of the color on the M3. I got to say that's my favorite color. Actually, it's not. Laguna Seca Blue is the best one on that particular car, but that is a close second. I love that ugly green.
It's a bad yellow. I'm not a fan of that one. No. I like a white. I like a white.
Fair enough. Yeah. He did mention as well to completely avoid the SMG. Are you familiar with that gearbox?
Not in particular. No.
It operates very much like the I want to say it's the Vantage, the Aston Martin one.
Where actually have a clutch.
Yeah, it's got a clutch, but it doesn't have a clutch pedal. It's an electro-hydraulic actuated clutch, so it is. Literally, you get the 6-speed, you get the SMG. It's the same transmission, but the SMG does the clutching for you and does it poorly. So
yeah,
and brakes all the time. So yeah, it was a very maligned transmission. I think more so later in life. When it came out, a lot of people liked it. I believe I want to say it was Road and Track or somebody called it like a really good car with a really good transmission, maybe like the best car ever. It was some weird headline. But the SMG did not hold up. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that sort of thing doesn't work out of the super uber enthusiast, where you have something as quick and unresponsive as a hand shift on the steering wheel. Like, you don't get any feel through that. But there's also actually got to be a separate clutch engagement, either via you or via the car. I think it essentially just needs to be like what we have now, which is the Tiptronic style, like just automatic shift up through the gears.
A dual clutch is a proper transmission. I mean, that's the way to do paddles, and it's just this is the time of trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, and how to make it reasonable and robust enough to put it into a road car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, interesting fact about the S4. This is the B6 generation, and this car had a water-cooled alternator.
A water-cooled alternator.
Isn't that weird?
Yes, that is very weird.
It seemed I couldn't quite. I was like, okay, I guess if you need it, but like of all the things to cool, the alternator.
Why wouldn't you just get a better alternator?
A bigger alternator?
Alternators have been air-cooled since day zero.
Since ever, and still are. I got nothing, but yeah.
That's very interesting. I don't know why that would ever be a thing that they put into a production car. Seems obscenely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I guess it's
don't get it.
Another reason why, even though it only had one more horsepower, it was 160 kilograms heavier.
Yeah. I guess you got a water cooling system for your alternator. That's a lot. But I had, the power varied over the years a little bit. I had them 6 horsepower apart, but I mean, really is as near as makes no difference.
Yes, exactly. I guess the 4-wheel drive system probably adds a little bit of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Jeremy says that the Audi is a better handling, more civilized car, where the BMW M3 is a faster drag racer. It did beat it in the standing drag race.
Yep. And that makes sense with the all-wheel drive.
Not surprising. You're going to be a better start out of the M3. And a lot more fun. Again, rear-wheel drives are fun, whereas all-wheel drives are just more usable.
Yep.
But what do you think, Jeff? Would you rather have an M3 or an Audi? And I think you said you had a reason why it would not be the Audi.
Well, yeah. So they both have their Achilles heel. Like the M3 that generation had had a penchant to crack the rear subframe. It seems to pretty much affect almost all cars, especially the lighter weight ones, the CSLs and stuff that they released later in production.
Yeah.
But it's not an if, it's a when. It's fixable without crazy money. Now the S4, so the generation before this was the I think it was the B4. Might have been the B5. Now I'm questioning, but it had the 2.7 liter twin turbo V6, and that was kind of a sketchy engine. It had its quirks. That had a timing belt, which was a huge pain in the ass to replace. You had to pull the whole front end off the car, but it was something that could be done. So they, in this one, went with the V8, the 4.2 liter, it went to a timing chain, but it still had a bunch of poorly made like tensioners and pieces in it that would fail like relatively regularly. And then they were on the back of the motor, and they basically required an engine out service to the tune of about $8,000 to fix.
So they got rid of their timing belt issues by putting a timing chain in, but the timing chain was just as bad, if not worse,
exactly
to fix.
Yeah.
Way to go, yeah, Audi.
It really seems like just very typical Audi. I hear this is a very fun car to drive. I've not driven one myself, but exactly what Jeremy said. Very planted and usable, but that particular issue is not, and it's not something. I mean, if you're a shade tree mechanic, you could probably tackle the job on your own. But it's like weekends worth of work and like $3,000 in parts.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah. So that right there is enough to turn me away from the Audi. And I do love the E46. I always have. And I think the right one pops up. It might end up in my garage.
E46, best looking M3 by far.
I like the E92, but the E46 looks better.
E46 is better for sure. You said earlier that the Audi was more planted. That was very evident when it went around the Top Gear test track. Yep. 1 full second faster than the BMW M3.
Yeah.
Which is considerable because the BMW M3, as Jeremy even said at the beginning of the segment.
Right. This is the performance car yardstick. It's the BMW M3. You can use it every day, or you can take it to a track and it'll set your trousers on fire.
Mm-hmm. And then the Audi just beat it, just a second faster, which is nothing
handily
to say.
Beat it, yeah.
So that puts it at 91.8 seconds for the M3 and 90.9 seconds for the S4. This was on dry track, both of them, which I guess helped out the BMW M3 stay close. But this is our hot lap, as Jeff said, so we're going to need to put this into our Top Gear Power rankings. Jeff, what do you have desirability ranking for the M3 and the S4?
The M3, I would go with an 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, S4, I'd probably go with about a 5.
5, that's pretty low. Okay. I did an 8, but then I did a 6. So it's a little lower than mine. I do like the Audis. I guess I didn't know anything about their serviceability history, so
yep,
didn't lend my answer very well there. But those are the rankings. We got 8s across the board for the M3, and then a 5 and a 6. That puts them in 8th place for the M3 and 11th place for the Audi. Even though the Audi is faster and cheaper, our ratings hold it down. Both above 100 though. 106.0 for the M3 and 103.1 for the Audi.
All right.
So the BMW, even though it's our yardstick car for our power rankings, we can't yardstick for our desirability ratings. So that's where it got an extra 6 points. Is 3 from Jeff and 3 from me.
There you go.
There we go. So BMW is just ahead of the Lotus Elise, just behind the Ford Focus Mark 1. Okay, yeah. I mean,
there's something about the Focus RS that I want.
It's also half the price. That's why it's helping it out. Audi is just behind the Lotus Esprit and just ahead of the SL55 AMG.
All right.
So we'll post these up on Facebook if you want to check out where they stand. We now have 22 cars in our power rankings, so we're starting to get pretty good in our list here of where everything sits.
Yeah, that's going to be like a legit set of numbers.
Almost there. 27.
Okay.
You gotta wait. All right. And then the final segment today is hopefully, and I'm not sure if it is, I haven't looked ahead, the final installment in get a bunch of dissimilar things that have nothing to do with motor racing and find out which one of them is the fastest. This is the fastest political party. I did not take the time, Jeff, to write down their names because that's all they said is they just wrote down their names.
Oh, I got them all. I didn't get last names, but I got first names.
But I would like to note that one of the parties is the official Monster Raving Loonies party.
Yeah, that's a thing, I guess.
It is absolutely a thing.
Okay.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that guy looks like he fit the bill.
He was right on, fit right into the stereotype there. So you got the name, so you can go through them if you'd like.
So there was the, I don't remember the exact title name, but it was basically Legalized Marijuana Alliance or something.
It was the Legalized Cannabis Alliance.
That was it, yeah. That was Mark. Allen from the Monster Raving Loonies. The Green Party was Ian. The Liberal Democrats was John. Labor Party was Richard. I wrote down Ringer because apparently he had some racing experience. We'll see if that holds up with the numbers. Spoiler, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And the Tories, which I had to Google, the Conservative Party, which was Bernard.
Yes, who didn't show up for the first segment because apparently he went to Iraq, but was there for the actual race.
Yep.
So they did this in the 2-section part of the episode as well. And what car did they drive around in, Jeff? I was kind of surprised that
it was an MG ZR race car.
Yeah. Why did they drive around in the Subaru?
I don't know. They're just like pulling randos out of the air and being like, "We're not going to give you
people.
You don't get like any kind of a benchmark. You don't get to see how these like stack up. So here's just Next, they're just going to be on like a 3-wheeler well before it comes out.
I don't understand how they didn't have the foresight that 15 years in the future, someone would be doing a podcast and would like a little, like a little standardization.
Yeah. We want to know how politicians fare against religious folks.
Yes, so there was some shenanigans going on. The first driver got to go in the dry, and then it rained, but they definitely put those out of order for entertainment's sake, because like the last 3 drivers were in the dry again.
Yeah.
So they commented when they started reading the times that they allowed everyone to go in the dry. So everyone got a dry lap.
Yeah.
Which is lame.
Yeah.
That's not how they do it, though. That's not how Top Gear does it. If it's wet, it's wet. Just go in the wet.
Play the cards you're dealt. I gotta say, our Monster Raving Looney, Alan, dear Lord.
He looks so scared.
2 minutes and 13 seconds. Like, I feel like I could run it faster than that.
He looked so scared, Jeff.
He did.
I don't think he'd ever driven before. He didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah, he did say that. So, I mean, with that in mind, like, okay. But
Harry Enfield does have a driver's license, and he was pretty close to this time.
To be fair, I mean, he lost by almost 40 seconds.
Yeah.
That's half a lap. Like,
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Oh.
Yep. The next closest were the Conservative Party at 141. So we went from 213 to 141.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. And that were those the Tories. Those are the Conservatives.
Yep. Yeah, who came after? That was the Ian from the Green Party was after that. He did, if I remember right, he got it pretty sideways around the penultimate corner and actually did save it pretty well. But that might have been one of those. Well, no, I think that was actually a dry-ish lap, so that was his counted lap. And he came in with a 141 flat.
Came with a 141. In fourth place was Labor with a 138.8. They were also in the dry at the end.
That was third place, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, third place. Yes.
Yeah, and that was the guy with experience, where I was like, oh, that's what you could do?
Yeah, the non-ringer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, beat by the Legalized Cannabis Alliance.
Yeah, 136.5. That guy looked like he knew what he was doing and wasn't high.
Apparently.
I guess.
You're not going to want to send that message when you're out there repping for your party. I don't think.
Yeah, keep it on the even keel. Which leaves us with the winner, the Liberal Democrats, John, a 133.9.
He whipped him. That's 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he smoked everybody pretty hard.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Pun intended.
And that does it for our episode today. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you will continue to join us. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button on your podcast app or on iTunes. And if you're feeling giving today, go ahead and throw a rating and a review on iTunes. That would do us a lot of favors.
Yeah, I keep the show notes up to date. I do have a link to the Series 2 on Amazon Prime Video in there. So if you want to watch these through there, that's great. That's where we found them. That's the easy place to find them. That you don't. I mean, if you're a Prime member, you don't have to pay for. And we have a Facebook page that Brady keeps up to date with. And if you, we'd love to see both your top 5 worst car lists and your best and worst headlights. So throw pictures and lists up there. We'd love to see them.
That'd be great. Yeah, and we'll likely argue / agree with you on both of those facts, as we said before.
For
and
sure.
I believe that's everything, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all we got. So on that note, we will see you guys back here for Series 2, Episode 3.